The Dallas Cowboys have just released their unofficial depth chart ahead of the preseason kickoff, and there's a lot to unpack about what this means for the team's roster, player battles, and overall strategy going into the new season. One of the most intriguing storylines surrounds the wide receiver room, where a bit of ambiguity remains, especially concerning the roles of Jalen Tolbert and Cavante Turpin. The Cowboys have used an or designation for one of the receiver spots, which essentially means they haven't officially named a clear-cut starter. This can be a little confusing on the surface, but it reveals some of the strategic thinking behind their personnel usage. When the Cowboys run their base 11 personnel with 3 wide receivers, it seems Tolbert is currently considered the default number 3 receiver. He's the guy who steps on the field when the play isn't designed specifically for Turpin or other package specialists. However, Turpin is far from a simple backup. His skill set allows him to serve multiple roles. He's not just a wide receiver, but also a running back in certain packages and even the primary kick and punt returner. This versatility gives him a unique value that might not show up in a straightforward depth chart. From a pure receiver standpoint, if you were ranking who'll get the most snaps or touches, Turpin might even surpass Tolbert at times, simply because of how the Cowboys want to deploy him in various offensive schemes. There will be moments, especially on third down or in no-back formations, where both Tolbert and Turpin take the field together, creating different looks and forcing defenses to adjust. This fluidity in their receiver core means that while Tolbert might be the default 3, Turpin could very well have more impact plays or touches during the season, depending on game situations and packages called. Beyond those two, the overall wide receiver hierarchy looks solid at the top with CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup leading the charge. Jalen Pickens also holds a key role, slotting in comfortably among the starters and first backups. Behind that core, the battle for the remaining spots includes players like Jameson Williams, Jalen Mingo, Tan Holden, and Ryan Fennoy, among others. One of the burning questions now is who will claim the coveted 6th wide receiver spot on the roster. With the top 5 pretty much locked in, that last spot could come down to Brooks, Fennoy, or Holden, each bringing different skills and special teams value. This last spot is likely to be decided by how well these players perform on special teams and in limited offensive snaps during the preseason. On the defensive side, the Cowboys' depth chart reveals some interesting dynamics, especially on the linebacker and defensive end fronts. Marzon Nelland is listed as the starter opposite Micah Parsons, which aligns with the team's approach of pairing Parsons, their star linebacker, with a solid run stopper on the other side. Tyrus Wheat's placement as the number 2 defensive end over Peyton Turner is a bit surprising, given Turner's previous impact and contract status. This suggests the coaching staff is experimenting with different rotations or possibly favoring Wheat's skill set in certain situations. Another name that caught attention was Donovan Isaku, who is listed as a 4th-string defensive end. Despite this, Isaku has shown flashes during practice and preseason games, so this might just reflect the current pecking order rather than his ultimate role. The defensive line rotation seems set to be a group effort, with multiple players rotating opposite Parsons to keep pressure constant and fresh. The left side of the defensive line looks particularly loaded with talent, and it's likely all 4 players listed there will make the final roster. On the right side, however, competition is tighter, and it's possible only one player makes the cut, though Peyton Turner's contract situation might give him an edge. Rookie Houston has shown promise during preseason practices and games, but his current low placement on the depth chart seems out of sync with his potential. Coaches might just be using these listings as a snapshot, with plans to shuffle things as the season progresses. Cornerback depth remains an area of concern for the Cowboys. Kamon Hall is slotted as the starter at nickel corner, ahead of Israel Mwamu. However, the true hope for stability in the nickel position may rest with Don Bland, assuming he can return healthy and ready. The team has been switching Bland between outside and nickel corner positions, trying to maximize their defensive backs talents. Unfortunately, injuries and lack of depth have left the secondary somewhat thin. Kyler Elam, Kalen Carson, and Andrew Booth are key contributors but have all dealt with injuries, which raises questions about the durability and consistency of the Cowboys cornerback group. Younger players like Bruce Harmon and Troy Pride have been getting reps, but have yet to truly prove they can hold down starting roles consistently. Zion Shoulders has been used primarily in safety and nickel packages rather than traditional corner roles, underscoring how the coaching staff is trying to plug holes and make the best of the talent they have. Overall, this is a position group that will need to perform above expectations to keep the defense sharp, especially early in the season when injuries are a risk. In a linebacker unit, Kenneth Murray and Jack Sanborn appear as the two primary starters, with Maurice Liafoa and Dion Clark competing for time as well. Murray missed some time recently due to the birth of his child, but otherwise, he and Sanborn seem to be the cornerstone of the linebacking core. The presence of other players like Shamar James getting snaps during practices shows the team is investing in depth and competition to ensure no drop-off during games. This depth is crucial because linebackers are often the key to both run defense and pass coverage, and the Cowboys need reliable production from this group to complement Micah Parsons, who is the face of their defense. Turning to the offensive side, the running back situation is another storyline worth following closely. Javonte Williams is positioned as the lead back, with Miles Sanders and Jaden Blue following behind. It's interesting to see Blue ranked ahead of Duche Vaughn, indicating that the coaching staff might be leaning more on his skill set or seeing greater potential in him during practices. Hunter Lipke stands out as a sort of Swiss Army knife in the backfield. He's not just a fullback, but also contributes as a running back and even tight end, adding a layer of versatility that the Cowboys seem to value highly in their offensive personnel. His role could be a key factor in short yardage and goal line situations, and possibly in special teams as well. The offensive line depth chart reflects a mix of veteran presence and young talent, though there are some injury concerns. Tyler Smith's absence due to injury has opened up opportunities for players like Brock Hoffman to get more snaps at left guard. The starters, comprising players like Tyler Smith, BB, Booker, and Steele, are mostly set, but the real intrigue lies in how the backups and second-string linemen will step up during the preseason and early season. The coaching staff seems keen on testing different combinations to find the most effective and durable lineup. Speaking of quarterbacks, the depth chart is straightforward. Dak Prescott remains the undisputed starter, but he is unlikely to see much, if any, playing time during the preseason as the team wants to keep him healthy for the regular season. Joe Milton is next in line, expected to take the reins during the preseason games. The third quarterback, Will Grier, will likely see limited action, but his role is crucial in case of emergency. The team seems aware of the risk if Milton or Grier were to get injured during the preseason, which would leave them scrambling for a quarterback to run plays. This is a rare but possible scenario, and the Cowboys might even have to look to position players with some throwing ability to fill in if the worst happens. The tight end room appears stable, but not without questions. Jake Ferguson and Luke Schoonmaker lead the group, with Revan Spandau and John Stevens also contributing. There's a bit of a flip-flop on the depth chart between Stevens and Princeton Fant, as the latter has been more active in recent practices and preseason reps. Undrafted free agents Ronaldo Farweather and Tyler Neville are fighting to carve out roles and prove they belong in the mix. Tight ends will be critical in both blocking schemes and as passing targets, so how these players develop could impact the Cowboys' offensive dynamics. Defensive tackles are an interesting group with some under-the-radar names. Osa Odidza leads the depth, followed by Solomon Thomas and Ernest Brown. Brown, in particular, might be one of the more overlooked players on the roster, quietly making a case for himself. Others like Tommy Akmasot and Maisie Smith add depth and rotational options. The defensive line versatility is evident, with many players able to shift between one technique and three technique roles depending on the situation, which adds tactical flexibility to the defensive front. In the safety group, the Cowboys have continued some of their previous trends on the depth chart that can be a little puzzling. Maris Bell is listed behind Malik Hooker, but many believe Bell is more of a strong safety, while Juan Thomas can fill the free safety role better. The team also has Mike Smith and Elijah Clark as part of the safety rotation, with Zion Shoulders getting some snaps, mostly in nickel safety roles. Special teams players like Brandon Aubrey, Brian Anger, and Trent Sieg are expected to contribute consistently, rounding out the roster's depth. Finally, the return game remains a fluid situation. The Cowboys are unlikely to have Cavante Turpin back there regularly in the preseason due to injury concerns for key players like Juan Thomas and Duche Vaughn. Jalen Crariper has seen some reps as a returner, but it will be interesting to see if the team tries other players like Jaden Blue in this role, balancing their value as offensive weapons with the need to cover kick and punt returns. The return specialist spot often shifts during preseason as coaches test out options and try to avoid unnecessary injuries. Overall, this unofficial depth chart paints a picture of a Cowboys team with solid starters, but with several key battles and uncertain spots that will be worth watching closely as the preseason unfolds. The versatility of players like Turpin and Lipke, the defensive rotations, and the quarterback depth are all storylines that could significantly impact the team's success once the regular season begins. As the preseason progresses, the Cowboys are approaching a critical juncture in their roster evaluation process. The unofficial depth chart offers a snapshot of where players currently stand, but the true measure will come through game reps, practice performances, and the coaching staff's ongoing assessments. Each position group faces unique challenges and opportunities, with several emerging battles likely to define the final roster decisions and even the team's overall identity for the upcoming season. Focusing again on the wide receiver room, the dynamic between Jalen Tolbert and Cavante Turpin remains a point of keen interest. Tolbert's status as the default number 3 receiver suggests the coaching staff values his route running and reliable hands as the third option in standard formations. However, Turpin's multidimensional skill set, encompassing not only receiver duties but also rushing attempts and special teams roles, makes his impact harder to quantify on a traditional depth chart. Turpin's ability to create mismatches in the open field and his explosiveness on kick returns could be a game-changer for the Cowboys, providing a spark that traditional wide receivers may not offer. The coaches have hinted that Turpin's role will expand as the season wears on, particularly if he stays healthy, highlighting the trend in modern offenses to seek versatility and unpredictability. Beyond Tolbert and Turpin, the depth chart suggests a well-balanced receiver group led by stars like C.D. Lamb and Michael Gallup. Lamb, especially, is poised to be the centerpiece of the passing attack after an impressive breakout last season. His ability to stretch the field and make contested catches has put defenses on notice. Gallup, returning from injury, is expected to complement Lamb with his own combination of speed, precise route running, and toughness. Jalen Pickens, who has emerged as a reliable slot receiver, adds another dimension to the passing game, particularly in quick, rhythm-based plays that keep defenses off balance. These three players give Dak Prescott a formidable arsenal of weapons. The deeper receiver spots remain competitive, with younger players like Jameson Williams, Jalen Mingo, and Tan Holden vying to prove they belong on a roster. The sixth receiver position is often overlooked, but can be critical in determining special teams' effectiveness and offensive depth. Coaches tend to favor players who excel in multiple facets of the game here, and this battle could be a deciding factor in who makes the final 53-man roster. The special teams units, often the proving ground for backup receivers, will be a crucial evaluation stage during the preseason. Shifting focus to the defensive line, the Cowboys' front seven is a vital part of their defensive identity, especially given Micah Parsons' transformative presence at linebacker. Parsons, widely regarded as one of the best defensive players in the league, will demand constant support from his defensive end and tackle teammates to maintain pressure on opposing quarterbacks and control the run game. Marshawn Nelland, as the starter opposite Parsons, is expected to anchor the defense with his run-stopping ability and pass rush skills. The decision to slot Tyrus Wheat ahead of Peyton Turner on the depth chart may reflect the coach's desire for a specific skill set or matchup advantages against certain offensive schemes. Wheat's quickness and ability to disrupt plays in the backfield make him a valuable asset in sub-packages. In an unexpected and startling move that has sent shockwaves across the American football landscape, The Dallas Cowboys reportedly are making waves with their rumored interest in EFE Obata, the British star currently shining with the Washington Commanders. Sources close to the situation have been buzzing with speculation that the Cowboys, a franchise known for its high-profile acquisitions and bold decisions, could be on the verge of securing Obata's services for the upcoming NFL season. This potential transfer has ignited a frenzy among fans and analysts alike, sparking debates about the impact such a signing could have on the team's defensive lineup. Obata, who has garnered significant attention for his tenacity and unique journey into the NFL, represents a rare talent bridging British and American football cultures. The Cowboys' possible acquisition of this standout player from the Commanders may signal a strategic move aimed at bolstering their defensive front, potentially reshaping the dynamics of their roster. Industry insiders suggest that this is more than just a casual rumor, hinting at behind-the-scenes negotiations that might soon culminate in a surprising announcement. This development would not only elevate the Cowboys' defensive capabilities, but also underscore the growing globalization of American football talent, marking a notable chapter in the sport's evolving narrative. The buzz surrounding EFE Obata's possible move to the Dallas Cowboys has been gaining momentum, fueled by insiders suggesting that the British defensive end's unique skill set fits perfectly with the Cowboys' current strategic ambitions. Obata's journey from undrafted free agent to a key player with the Washington Commanders has captured the imagination of many, making him a sought-after figure in the NFL. The Cowboys, known for their eye-catching roster moves and willingness to shake things up, seem to be eyeing Obata as a potential game-changer. Rumors circulating within NFL circles imply that Dallas could offer Obata a platform to showcase his talents on an even bigger stage, capitalizing on his combination of speed, agility, and relentless pursuit of quarterbacks. The Commanders, on the other hand, may find themselves reluctant to part with such a valuable asset, which adds intrigue to the unfolding story. If this rumored trade or signing materializes, it could signal a shift in power dynamics within the league's defensive units, giving Dallas a fresh edge and perhaps surprising their rivals. Fans and commentators are eagerly watching for any signs of confirmation, aware that the NFL offseason is ripe for unexpected twists. EFE Obata's potential transfer to the Dallas Cowboys also represents a cultural milestone within the NFL, as it could highlight the increasing presence and influence of international players in what has traditionally been a predominantly American league. Obata's British roots and remarkable rise through football ranks have made him a symbol of opportunity and perseverance, inspiring countless young athletes worldwide. The Cowboys' interest in him might reflect a broader strategy not only focused on athletic performance, but also on expanding their global brand and connecting with international audiences. This rumored acquisition might be leveraged as a marketing coup, aligning with the NFL's ambitions to grow its fan base across continents. Speculation among sports media suggests that the Cowboys' management sees in Obata more than just an on-field asset. They may view him as a bridge to global markets eager to embrace the sport. Meanwhile, this possibility raises questions about how the Commanders will respond to losing a key player who has become a fan favorite and an integral part of their defensive scheme. The coming weeks promise to be filled with speculation and strategic posturing as teams maneuver through this intriguing saga. Beyond the sporting and cultural implications, the rumored Cowboys acquisition of EFE Obata could have significant repercussions on the tactical approaches employed by both teams. Obata's ability to disrupt defensive plays, combined with his versatility along the defensive line, offers Dallas a tactical weapon that could enhance their pass rush and run defense. Analysts have been theorizing how the Cowboys might integrate Obata into their existing defensive schemes, potentially allowing for more aggressive blitz packages or stifling containment strategies against rival offenses. The Commanders, if they lose Obata, will likely have to adjust their defensive game plan, possibly promoting younger players or scouting for replacements who can fill the void left by his departure. The ripple effect of this potential trade extends beyond just these two teams, as other franchises may also react by shoring up their defenses or exploring new talent acquisitions. Rumors also hint that financial considerations and contract negotiations are playing a crucial role behind the scenes, as both organizations weigh the value Obata brings versus their salary cap constraints. As the offseason unfolds, fans and experts alike are speculating about how this single move could recalibrate competitive balances in the league. Adding to the intrigue of this developing story is the timing of the rumored interest, coinciding with the NFL's off-season period, a time traditionally marked by strategic maneuvering and unexpected player movements. The Dallas Cowboys appear to be capitalizing on this window of opportunity, possibly accelerating talks to secure Obata before other teams enter the fray. This has led to a whirlwind of rumors suggesting that Obata's future may hinge on last-minute negotiations and decisions influenced by performance evaluations, medical assessments, and contract terms. The speculation also points to potential coaching preferences and the influence of front office executives eager to make a splash in the market. While the Commanders might be preparing counteroffers or strategizing to retain their star player, the Cowboys' rumored pursuit reflects their ongoing ambition to build a championship-caliber team through calculated risks and high-profile acquisitions. The coming days promise to be pivotal in determining whether this buzzing rumor crystallizes into one of the NFL's most surprising off-season moves. For now, fans remain on the edge of their seats, eagerly awaiting confirmation or denial as the story continues to unfold with tantalizing uncertainty. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.